Hello, everyone. Mr. Miller here. Going to do a distance learning lesson here on inequalities. And it's going to be the first distance learning lesson that I've done. So if I don't do a very good job, all you have to do is imagine it was better. That's it. Just think, oh man, he did an excellent job. That's all you're going to have to do. I'll do my best, I promise. We're going to talk about inequalities, maybe give ourselves something else to think about in the midst of this chaos of coronavirus outbreak. So today's lesson is about inequalities. So normally mathematics, we're talking about equality. Pretty powerful word, right? It's a powerful word in society. It's a powerful word in mathematics. It means that both sides of the equal sign are exactly the same. So today we're actually going to be interested in inequality, where one side actually has more or is greater than the other side, where they're actually not equal to each other. We're going to do it on Desmos, so it should be a lot of fun. I'll give you the quick learning objectives. All right, so here's some things I'd like you to take from today. First, inequalities have a particular notation associated with them, and we're going to have to be able to distinguish between it being greater than, and then what do you do if it's greater than or equal to. We're also going to take a look at compound inequalities, so when you have more than one, you have two borders, and then just kind of a notational thing as well, number 3, when do you fill in the dot or use a solid line versus leave the dot empty? All right, so that is going to be our goal. You're going to be going to Desmos, and let me pull that up right now. I will screen share Desmos, and there it is. Okay, so it's a great lesson called Point-Collector. I'm presuming that's what you're looking at right now. So you'll go to student.desmos, you'll type in this class code, log in with your Gmail. Okay, you want to log in because then it'll remember your progress if you stop and you need to go back a different day and finish it. And also make sure you type in your name so I can see everybody who's done the activity and I can provide you with feedback. All right, so that's all you need to get started right now. I would hit pause on the video and then come back, and I'm going to step through this whole thing. So why don't you hit pause, do the activity, and then come back to the video. All right? All right. Pause. Okay, unpause, right? So here we go. Let's see what we can learn. Student view. This should have been your view. So this first screen is mostly about you getting used to this kind of notion of the point of the game. So by using these scroll bars, right, you don't need to know mathematical notation to be successful here. But we want to get as many blue dots as we can. We want to kind of avoid the red dots. So if you notice right here on number 7 is like all good for me because there's 3 blue and there's only 2 red. So I'm feeling really good. I don't really want this 8 very much because there's 3 reds. I'm going to avoid the 8. And I think right there, I probably have as many points as I can get. Feeling pretty confident about that. Let's move on. Okay, so here we go with that notation element. So what do we got? It says x is greater than 2. Well, first thing I want you to notice is you notice those circles on 2 are not darkened, but the ones on 3 are darkened in. I'm focused on the blue ones. That's important because when you say x is greater than 2, that means if you are 2, you don't fulfill the condition of being greater than 2. So what we want to do here is probably, well, you know, what I'm thinking is we probably want to make this a less than. So let me switch it to a less than because I don't want any of these red dots if I don't have to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it has to be less than 4. Notice that the 4, the red 4, or the red dots, it's not filled in because I'm saying less than 4, and 4 doesn't count. If you're only interested in numbers less than 4, and someone shows up with the number 4, it's gonna be like, I ain't interested in that number. I'm interested in numbers that are less than 4. So this one worked out really well. Now, you could do this. You could say less than 3, but you're gonna have to do less than or equals 3. So right after the equals sign, I'm gonna go hit that, right after the inequality, the greater than, I'm gonna hit the equal sign, and there you can see that now Desmos is giving me those points. All right, it's giving me those points. Let us flip back, blah, blah, to C is my first one. What I wanna do is I wanna go back to, so you can see me. I don't know if you can see me right now or not. Uh-oh. Oh, stop share. Boom. There we go. All right, so now I'm feeling pretty good. No, okay. So quick thing on notation. Let me see if I can get into here. There we go. So when I learned inequalities, my teacher initially told me it was like an alligator, and the alligator always ate the bigger side. That's still true today, still kind of how I think about it. So you got this one here. Let me look at it the right direction. So we've got x is greater than 7, right? So it's open to the x. So it's saying the left side is actually bigger than the right side, that they ain't equal. This one says the left side is bigger than the right side, but they could also be the same. So the difference between these two is that this one allows for that condition of them being the same. This one does not. And that's why when you graph it, if that border, right, because inequalities are about a border, right? So there's a whole lot of right answers. There's a lot of numbers that are bigger than 7. And so inequalities are usually defined by this border between all your right answers and all your wrong answers. So that's here. So there's 7. That's the border between the right answers, which are bigger than 7, and the wrong answers, which are less than 7. And because I said it can't equal 7, I use an open circle. But here, because I can say it actually can be the same as 7, I'm going to use a closed circle. And you'll see Desmos is pretty consistent, throughout this activity in going over that. So let's jump back to that activity right quick. And we're going to be all good. Boom. Share. All right, so I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit here. I don't want you to have to download a file that's 10 gigabytes because Mr. Miller wouldn't shut up. Okay, here we go. We got to grab as many as we can. Now, you see you got quite a few blue. So I think I'm going to go greater than. I'm just going to say x is greater than 5. But I think I want the 5 because there's the 5 and I want the 4. So I'm going to do then is say x has got to be greater than or equal to 4. Keeping in mind that in this situation, you could also say x is greater than 3 because we only have integer answers in this. There's no 3.1 or 3.2. So x is greater than 3. Well, the first number greater than 3 is actually 4. If you're stuck with counting numbers, if you allow decimals, obviously that's not true anymore. All right, so it says I have the highest score so far. I'm feeling good about that. Let's see. I think we're still probably, we got to settle dispute. These ones are awesome. Definitely when you're doing Desmos, take time to write. These questions where it wants you to critically think, this is really where the money's at. This is really where you're going to pick up all the learning goals of the day. So I'm going to let you think about this. But if we were to, and when I say that, you could just pause it, right? That's how you could think about it. We look at 6, we want 6. 6 is good for us. David, he ain't getting 6 because he says x has to be less than 6. Mara, she's money because Mara says x is less than or equal to 6. I like Mara's style on this problem. I'm going to go Mara because she's picking up that 6 and we want that 6. Boom. Well, I explained it verbally, but I do want you to write it because written communication is of utmost importance in this world. So you write it, but I'm going to move on. All right, I think this is going to be a good one here. So this is the first one where we're going to learn about compound inequalities because we really have two borders. I don't want 2 because there's more red than blue, and I don't want 7 because there's more red than blue. So I want everything in between 2 and 7. So I'm going to say I want my number to be greater than 2, but also less than 7. And that, my friends, is the second learning goal. That is called a compound inequality, where you actually set up 2 borders, and all the right answers are in the middle there. This is considered an AND scenario because a number can be both greater than 2 and less than 7. All right, there it is. Beautiful, everybody. Like the day, it actually is quite, sun's completely in my eyes, but I've been indoors a lot, so I'm gonna power through here. Challenge number 3. Okay, quick scan. You do your work. I don't want anything to do with this 4, so I'm gonna go 5 or greater, and I don't really want that 9. So I'm gonna go 5 is, let's go greater than or equal to 5. That looks good. You can probably do better because with Desmos, you can use commas and parentheses. So you could do something like less than or equal to 8, comma, x equals 10. See, I said you could do that, but it doesn't look like you could do that. So that didn't change my score. And what the heck? Oh, it did change my score. It did work. It just didn't bring out another purple line. All right. So you've got options there, but that's, again, compound inequality. Let's move on. Oh, here we go, David and Mara. Well, Mara had him last time, so let's see if David steps up here. We got 2 borders. Beautiful. Let's just analyze Mara for a second. She is 3 and 7, so let's rock this 3. Oh, hey, come on, buddy. Come on, you got this thing. Nah, okay, here we go. All right, so 3, let's go to 3 and 7. Let's ask ourselves, do we want more than that? Okay, we don't really care. So the 2 is a wash and the 8 is a wash. So in this case, actually, they're going to be the same. So neither one is better. So that they're equal in this lesson of inequality. They're both going to be getting the same score because David's going to get the 8 and the 2, but the 8 and the 2 are both a wash. So let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So I think. I don't want to spend minutes on this analyze, but you've got the point, I hope. Definitely take on these last couple challenges. Do the best you can. I would love to see a few class challenges here at the end. That would be awesome. Let me go back and, all right. So again, the notion of this lesson is about inequalities. We need a few things. So you're going to have to learn here. All right, so you've got some symbols. We've got this symbol, which says this side is less than that side. We got this symbol, which says this side is bigger than this side. And if you want to allow for them to be the same, you usually put a line under it. So now this side has to be less than that side or equal to, greater than that side or equal to. All right, that's lesson number 1 in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this lesson finds you well, and be kind to each other and stay hip.